All right, we are recording. So good evening, everybody. Got every
Hello.
Hey, off each other. Hello. Um, we are going to talk tonight. Our topic is actually leading a group presentation and what that looks like. So this is Rising Stars. So this call is really for people who are starting their businesses and figuring everything out. However, I don't think it ever hurts to have a refresher on all of this. And I don't think we've ever gone through this portion. I don't think we've ever. Oops, sorry, Jamie. I don't think we've ever gone through these topics and fleshed them out with everybody, from the very beginning. I think you've kind of gotten it from your sponsor or just when you were doing a presentation. So this way we're actually really going to help everybody who's starting the business have focus on specific skills for 6 weeks. So we are going to talk about really presentation booking and the topics that come along with it. So first of all, and Mandy's going to help me in leading these topics this evening. So we're going to, just so you guys know what we're going to cover, we're going to cover booking presentations. So a little bit more verbiage on that. And we'll also talk about what happens with no, when you're hearing no. And I want to unpack that a little bit and why that might be happening. We'll cover hostess coaching, party duplication, and why that's key. Being prepared, the fear of running a presentation, presentations for those who are non-local, business launches versus parties, and then we're actually going to run through the presentation, not go through the entire presentation, but just really kind of go through and explain what would be happening at the party, and then do a little bit of the verbiage and talk about the closing of the party. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So I'm going to just toss the baton over to Mandy and have her share. And there's nothing magic about verbiage with asking people to host. Oftentimes it's excitement, seeming excited and like you really enjoy what you're asking someone to do with you, which is a presentation. So if you're hearing Mandy's verbiage or my verbiage and you're thinking, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Well, yeah, because it basically is. So I'm going to have Mandy kind of run through a couple scenarios for booking a presentation, and I'll do a couple as well. So if you would like to take it away, Mandy.
All right.
This is area manager, Mandy Halezzi. And you all know I'm regional vice president, Megan Buccelli. I'll just put that out there in case we post this on YouTube. Okay.
All right, ladies. So let's see here. I'm just going to run through like an example that I pretty much I'm doing right now. So and I think the way you ask really depends on, I guess, the scenario of how things are going and who you're asking, right? So right now I'm basically in the process of asking a good friend of mine who basically I've invited to a couple events. She has verbalized a lot of interest. I've actually done a one-on-one with her. She said she wasn't ready for the business right now, however, is interested in, hosting, or we're kind of getting there. So her name's Jackie. So I basically was like, hey, Jackie, I know, you verbalized interest in a lot of our products and you've really tried to come to a couple of my parties. However, timing just didn't work or schedules just didn't work. Would you be open to me coming over to your house and just pampering you guys? Would you, be open to just gathering 2 or 3 of your friends or neighbor or family members? And I basically will bring everything. We'll go over nutrition. We'll do facials and just pamper you all and teach you about pure, safe, and beneficial products. So that's pretty much how I go about doing that. But that's somebody who, again, we've already sat down and done a one-on-one with. She kind of knows. She's actually even tried like a sample, an RE9. So, I didn't have to say, I guess, too much about it. Now, if I were to, a different scenario, maybe it's somebody, I don't know, again, maybe you've had a one-on-one with them and maybe you're trying to do a sneak peek, and you're still maybe trying to get the business into it. I would say something like, well, no pressure right now about the business. Would you be open to just kind of learning more? Would you be open to gathering, again, a couple of your friends or family members, and I can show you how I do this business? And I think that's it.
Awesome. All right, I'll take it from here. Those are good, very good examples. Mandy's really great at booking presentations. And I really believe, I was talking to somebody the other day and she said, I'm not booking parties. And I said to her, that's because you don't like them. She was like, well, of course I love parties. I love presenting and being in front of people. And I said, that's different than actually really enjoying being at an Arbonne presentation and being a part of what we do. I really think that when we are it and when we're living it, people believe us and they want to be a part of it. So know that and have that. And I know that sounds kind of maybe, frou-frou or, just kind of out there. But the truth is that people are really intuitive. People are smart. And when I pick up the phone or when I'm talking to somebody, and in my heart, I'm thinking, I love parties. I love parties. Because I'm going to be honest, I was very afraid of parties for a very long time. I had a very hard time presenting them. It was not fun for me. I have a terrible fear of speaking, and this fear has gotten so much better. I have a tremendous fear of speaking in front of people. You guys may or may not know that. I mean, Mandy and I were at a group today talking about Arbonne, and my heart pounds. I can hardly drink, like a sip of water. My throat clogs up. I mean, it's bad. And it's much easier for me to speak about Arbonne because I love it and we talk about it so much. And I'm very comfortable with our crowd, like at an Arbonne presentation, because it's all Arbonne people who are very forgiving. In front of people I don't know, I still clam up. So I really had to kind of think this way. Like, I love presentations. And when I started really thinking that, I really started believing it. And I really started enjoying my presentations and having fun and thinking of ways that I could just make them extremely fun. So when I ask somebody for a party, I'm always, smiling and excited. And I'm thinking of something that they love about the products. So if it's the RE9 set that they love, or if they've tried a sample, or if they've tried a tester kit, I'm thinking to myself, okay, number one, and think about these things. Did somebody probably get through that kit the way they were supposed to? Did somebody probably use all of the steps the way that they were supposed to? If they tried a sample, did they really get to use the spritz toner? Did they try the lift gel? Did they use the neck cream? Did they get to use other products that Arbonne has that complement the set? Probably not. And so I'm thinking about the cellular renewal cream, the Genius pads, And so when somebody tells me that they love the products and it's a sample pack or a tester kit that they've tried, I say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you love these products. You know what a really fun way is to actually get to know these products even better? And I know you're going to love this because you already love the products. So you're kind of like feeding into their excitement. Do you have like a friend and a neighbor who would come over to your house? And I would love to really show you all the steps that I know you've tried them, but I want to make sure that like you've got it all down and you know how much of each step to use and all of that. And plus I just want to get a better idea of your skin. And there's a bunch of other products that can actually be used with these products. So we have a great lift gel and a neck cream. I would love to bring these products as well. And maybe a couple of makeup items like a CC cream. You'd love our mascara. But I would love to just get you a better idea of more of these products with a friend and a neighbor. How does that sound? And I have to say, people say yes. And it's because it's not, I think, first of all, sounding like a party. I think it's because they've tried the products and they love them already. And so they're thinking, oh yeah, I could introduce these to my friends. Some people will say, you mean like a party? And they'll be really excited about it. And I'll say, sure, we can do a party. And then there's some people who will say, oh, you mean like a party? And I'll say, no, not like a party. Like, doesn't your friend and your neighbor come over to your house anyway? They say, yeah. So just, you really want to play with your audience. So that's generally how I work with somebody who's brand new trying product. I really listen to my clients or people who've used products. And after they've purchased their products, if I hear that there are other product lines that they're interested in, I'm like checking that box on a mental note and thinking, she talked about wanting to know more about makeup. And so at that time, I'm thinking, okay, so she has the RE9, and I'll ask, well, would you be open to getting a couple people together and we can run through makeup? And I'll just say, it's so much more fun to do this with other people. Because it is. I mean, or I'll say, and I don't know, I think people maybe they're scared of me or they think I'm weird. I don't know. They don't want to be with me alone because I'll say, why don't I come over with my, some makeup and I can show you how to do some makeup. And oftentimes they'll say, can I invite a few friends? Because I think people think that it is more fun to do these things with friends. And if they say, sure, I'll say, great. Do you have a couple more friends we can invite? Because this is so much fun with more people. And I truly believe that. And when I go to the presentation, we'll talk more. Because I am bringing music. We are rocking out. We are, whatever I need to do to make sure that the energy is really high and we're having a lot of fun. Remember, Mandy, I walked in with the boom box to your launch. So I know everybody has their own language for booking. I just think it's important to keep it sounding really like, I don't know, I make it sound like no big deal. Like, let's just get some people, no big deal. And they do, they say yes. And I'm finding right now, I've asked a lot of people, but my calendar is really busy and people are actually Facebook messaging me, giving me dates. And I'm like, okay, we will fit these people in. But it's because I threw out the bait and got them all excited. And then I just dropped off the map. So don't do that. But it's because it's just really safe. If you start small and get a couple people confirmed, you will have more people there because they get confidence once they're like, okay, my friend and my sister are coming, we're in, and then remember that alone thing that I told you, people don't want to be alone with us all the time at their kitchen sink doing makeovers or whatever. I'll tell people, I say, so let's have your mom and your sister or your friend and your sister, whoever, and don't worry. If they don't come, I'm going to come to your house anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and run through this whole set with you anyway. So don't worry if nobody can make it that night. No big deal. I want to make sure that you get pampered and that I take care of you because you're the person who I'm most concerned about because we're having this conversation about what your needs are. And I guarantee you they will have people there because they're going to be going to their neighbors. Please come to my house because if you don't, she's going to be doing my face anyway. And I want more people there. Okay. So I think that has been very helpful for me as well. Are those some helpful suggestions? Yeah. Megan's like, okay.
I never have the speaker, and then I'm always going, wait, where's that little microphone thing?
Do you guys have any questions or any techniques that you find are really helpful? Please do share. All right. Well, we will move on, but I hope those are little tips that help. But I really do think it's important to love the party. And I'm thinking after we go through this, you're going to feel even more confident in running it. And I think when you feel more confident, it's more fun because the nerves are less and you can think outside of the box creatively about your own little fun things like bringing your own music or bringing different types of protein bars, whatever is going to make you feel like you put your stamp on it. Okay, so hostess coaching is a very important part of booking events because you want to make sure that after you book it, you're scheduling a time to either get on the phone with, get in person with, or now we even have like Zoom and Google Hangouts, just getting together with your hostess. And I'm going to share my screen really quick here. See how this goes. Can you guys see my screen? All right. Under presentation success, we have hostess coaching. There's a whole document here that you can run through. And I'm in Nation and Beyond Dropbox. So go ahead and read through and really get familiar with this document, the hostess coaching. And to make it super simple, I added a template that I put into my folders for my hostesses. So when I get together with someone, I have a folder with a catalog, this letter, a wish list, or actually the wish list is in the hostess coaching little booklet, and I'll add some samples to it and a couple Ion Arbonnes. And this goes through, and when I sit with them, I take out this letter with my hostesses, and I literally, whoops, I'll have to fix these numbers, they're off. I literally go through and read this. I'm like, okay, we're gonna pick a theme. So let's go ahead and pick your theme. And this is a Word document, you guys, so you can go and take out whichever themes you don't have products for. But you pick a theme, I say, start making a wish list for yourself from the catalog. And write down all of the people that you can think of, your friends, family, neighbors, colleagues, that you'd like to invite. And then here I tell them, it's written here, right here in this letter, that 3 to 6 people is a great group, and 30% of people you'll invite will join. So if they invite 10, 3 will come, and that's normal. So I'm just setting expectation with them right up front so they don't get nervous. I'm trying to take all of the fear out of this. We talk about what type of invite they should use, call them personally, and I let them know there's no pressure or obligation, that you just want them to try, keep things simple. And then I just added, use a catalog to get orders for those people who can't attend, because now they can enter outside orders on our new site to be added to a presentation. So we go through all of that, and I have them, if they're not on product already, I give them a bunch of product to try. And then before their presentation, I'm also setting the ground rules. If I'm giving them samples, I let my hostesses know, don't use the word sample at presentations. I generally like to give my hostesses tester kits, especially of the RE9, but I can give them samples of the shampoo, conditioner, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So you are welcome to pull down that letter and customize it for yourself, for your events. And then there is a SoundCloud that Donna Johnson's team does. It's under Donna Johnson's SoundCloud on hostess coaching. It's phenomenal. So go ahead and have a listen to that. And I'm going to post that SoundCloud to Facebook. So you'll have that. I'm going to post that one tomorrow. So that would be it's a really great view of hostess coaching, and then how to book from presentations and all of that. And Mandy, really quickly, I wanted to back up to the booking and the bookings from bookings, because you do a great job at that. Just really quick, if we could back up to that, the bookings from bookings, because that's really important. Because if you're doing 6 presentations or 8 presentations in a month, and you book a presentation every time you do a presentation, you don't have to make any additional calls for presentations. So how have you been having success with that, Miss Mandy?
Really just in parties, I guess my goal was to always at least even get one host party out of the group, and it really just depends on, again, interest of people. And I think I just kind of see how people are, and you'll because when I basically close the party, I really talk heavily on like hosting, and I kind of really emphasize, if you had a good time tonight doing this and would be interested in doing this, we really pamper you guys. We give you guys a lot of discounts. I really like to share with people kind of the big discounts they get, because who doesn't like a discount? So I just said it, and I make it very simple. You see how simple this is tonight, which is exactly what it says in the script. So really, you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. And just you would like to get people together. You'd like to get a nice big discount. Get with me after the presentation, and we'll get you booked. And I can tell you, most people will get at least one or two in a party.
Yeah. And even if they don't happen immediately, they're generally happening within 60 days.
Exactly. So exactly, if they give you a date and it doesn't work, I don't like refuse it, and I just say, well, can we just pencil you in? Like, what is a better date for you? And we just go from there.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. I think you're up with duplication.
All right. So actually I was reading this, and I think the next 2 points actually are probably going to kind of run and work together. The next one is party duplication. And then the one after that is being prepared for, I guess, parties. So kind of goes together. So the big thing that's really important about party duplication is really, now that I've had, a good amount of people direct to me, it's just so important to start duplicating and teaching right from the very beginning, like Megan says, from your business launches. And the best way to really kind of get prepared for that and to show them how to duplicate is to set yourself up for success in themselves. So the biggest thing is read your notes. I wasn't comfortable in speaking in front of people, from day one and doing this business. That definitely was one of my fears, which is, just very common. But I knew if I had my notes that it didn't matter. And I had something to read. So make sure that you really print your stuff out and read it, and you can prepare. I usually prepare and read it over before. And then especially the business aspect, because again, if you're new to this business, you're learning so much. So I think by reading, I was just telling Megan how important I think the notes were for me. It really was a tool for me to learn about our business and even about the RE9 steps. Like now, of course, I've memorized it practically, the RE9 of like what each step does. But without the notes, I don't know that I would have totally, do you know what I mean? Like learn from it. So just so important to just follow with the notes and again, the business aspect, and don't miss the business aspect. And I think when I was first a consultant, very early on, it's like I was almost like shy to talk about the business. And today I'm just very honest and blunt with people. And I say, if I miss out on this business aspect, then I've really missed out on kind of the best part of the party. And I just give it to them. And that's really it. Train again, you yourself and your consultant, how to run a party from day one, and just be prepared, which is again, so that's the next step. So just talk about the business, because again, I think the business is also very important. One thing that I've found success with myself, especially when I'm talking about the business, have your handouts ready. Which everything, I don't know, Megan, if you want to pull up your Nation and Beyond so we can show them where it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And really quickly, I just want to go back to the duplication piece. I cannot stress how much we duplicate. And my first year, and some of you may have heard me say this a lot, but I would make mistakes because I was just moving really, really fast all the time, because I really was just fitting this in by a hair. And I would forget documents and not have my notes exact and just things like that. And what would happen was my team would say, and I would be like, Lord, please don't let them notice that I did that. Like, let's pretend, because it would be the smallest thing. And I would think, oh, they didn't catch that. Good. It wasn't too far off of what was exactly perfect. And I'm talking about something as simple as how I closed the presentation. And when I would go back the next time and course correct, and they would watch, they would say, but you didn't do it like that last time. And so it was almost like a challenge. And especially since I was a new growing leader and we didn't have a lot of leadership in this area, I think it just caused some insecurity there, with the team. And when you step into this business as a leader, you have to lead when you have people following you in this business. And when I started realizing, even far beyond even the party, that the bar has to be high, we have to raise it for people, it's amazing how much more people really stepped up and raised their game. So just as silly as it seems, as a regional vice president, I literally read through my cards. And everyone who has ever seen me do a business launch knows. And it's just because anyone who is learning from me, I need them to know exactly what I do to be successful. I read cards at my own presentations. And then for anyone who is terrified of speaking in front of groups, I want them to know that they can be comfortable and do exactly what we do. So just, when I started, I was so nervous when I spoke in front of groups that I could hardly, I'm the kind of person who, when I get nervous, my mind blanks and I get very discombobulated. So I would be kind of like reading, and then I would just look up at the audience to kind of make sure they were with me. And I would go back to my notes, and I didn't know where I was. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I got really disheveled. I would start like sweating. Like, this is truly who you're learning from. This is who, where I started. And one of the reasons why I started this business. So I told Andy when I started, I said, I don't know what to do with the cards, Andy, because I literally can't read them. She's like, what do you mean you can't read them? I said, there's too many words. I can't read them and then look at the audience and get back. I just get really messed up and discombobulated. It's a mess. And so I saw Lynn Pawana do a presentation for us at a manager meeting, and she literally was like, I was leading a presentation for a new business builder. We had new cards. I hadn't done them before. So I read the cards verbatim. And I watched her sit there for us and read through the cards. She literally read and turned the pages. And at the end, she's like, see? And I was like, that was great. Okay, if a national vice president can sit there and read cards at a presentation, I need to slow down, collect my thoughts, practice these cards, and then read them. And so that is exactly what I did. I had to sit in front of my couch with the cushions, pretending like they were guests, and I read through the cards, actually pretending like I was giving a presentation so that I could get familiar with the cards and the words and where everything was, so I wouldn't get so disheveled. So if you're not practicing your presentation before going and giving it, it's really doing you a disservice, because we have to practice our craft and our presentation. I mean, that is huge to get an audience. So really prepare, like Mandy was saying, for that presentation by knowing your cards, knowing your words, knowing when you want to inflect, knowing when you want to put in a joke. Just really know all of that stuff, because it matters. And Jamie, who's on the line, she saw what I do to class cards. And you guys are going to get a new version. I mark those things up and make them so that I really know what I'm presenting. So I take it very, very seriously. Okay, sorry, soapbox, but that's how important that duplication piece is. Because if you have somebody starting their business in another state, how are they going to do a presentation the way you do one here if it's not so simple? So, okay. Sorry, Mandy. I'm going to go ahead and pull up those cards.
All right, so the next one again is Wait,
Mandy, can you, for some reason, sometimes you're really quiet and sometimes you're really loud. Okay, you're quiet now.
Here, can you hear me better?
No, you're really quiet. Hold on, maybe I need to mute other people. Hold on. All right, let's hear you again.
All right, can you hear me better?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So again, we're talking about being prepared. So being prepared is knowing your list and what to prepare. So Megan's going to actually pull up the page of where we get our, like, basically everything you need. So I mean, to me, it's our notes of like. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you. Oh. Can you hear me?
Hey, Megan's mic is muted, it looks like. I see a slash across her microphone.
Oh, okay, thanks, Megan. I forgot I muted myself. All right.
you hear me better?
You're pretty quiet. Earlier, you had gotten louder for a little bit.
That's so weird. I feel like I'm yelling. Can you hear
You're
me
my.
better?
It's okay. You're kind of quiet. Maybe come a little closer. Okay.
Thank you. It's so strange. I don't know where my microphone is, but can you hear me better?
We can hear you.
Okay. So again, being prepared. So Megan's gonna show you guys basically have printed for presentation notes. So definitely print that out. And depending on what you're doing, usually I do the RE9 presentation, or are we doing the core now? Okay, so core presentation with skincare. And then it should have a list of stuff you need. So that's super important. Like I have that handy, which will be, in your binder, so you don't forget anything. So make sure you have all of that ready. Again, part of being prepared. And let's see. And then we talked about notes. So everything is basically down here at the bottom. And then what else? Megan, do you want to show them the stuff we print out for all the other stuff besides the notes?
Sure. So we've really simplified this with duplication in mind.
I think you have to go back one more.
Okay. So we have printed for presentations.
Correct.
Okay.
We have, there you go, the 3 ways to win, super important. And then on the other side is actually the compensation chart. And I can't even say how important that chart is. I remember Lynn Puana maybe like 6 months ago kind of really emphasized it. And I've felt that I've had a lot more people interested in the business when I talk about the business at the close and really kind of have them look at that compensation chart. I think things just kind of set in when people see the money.
Yeah, and that's printed like this.
And then behind, yep.
Okay.
And then what else do we have there? We have your monthly calendar. Make sure you have that. Again, just to prepare for any one-on-ones and anyone who wants to host, so you know which dates you have opened. And then the next one is your product packages, which is very, very important. Again, I've seen a lot of success using this with a close, really just kind of talking about the face and nutrition ASVP, and of course the basic package, getting people at 150. And then of course, yeah, your order forms, which you need. It's right here.
And so this takes place of the order forms that you can buy on Business Aids. This is such a simple way. Just so you guys know, how I use the order form is alongside my Arbonne calculator on my phone. So this is more, personally, I don't do anything with the PC cost in that middle column. That confuses me. I go down to the bottom. I just mark however many of a product somebody needs, and you might want to have a highlighter or a red marker when you're doing this, just because it's a lot of lines. So if you're putting a 1, sometimes it's hard to find. But then at the bottom, I'll put kind of the product amount here, and then I cross it off and I put the discounted amount. And then the preferred client fee, your shipping, and I've actually had a new one of these made that has tax as well. So total will move down here. And then here you put your free item, and here it says your fee is waived if they ordered more than $250, so, or if they order a package. So this is it's a very time-saving order sheet.
All right, and then what else do we have? The wellness profile, which you basically have your guests fill out as they're checking in and getting their face washed, hopefully before they get their face washed. While everyone's kind of like coming in and getting an icebreaker, I have my guests fill this out.
Yeah. And I oftentimes will tell people to hold off on number 3 and number 4 until after they hear the presentation.
Correct. And then there should be, do you have, I don't know where the other folder is for all the other like laminated stuff. Is that the optional printouts?
Yeah, so as far as for duplicating and with your new consultants who are starting, I would start with this.
Okay.
And maybe have them add one optional printout. But what you don't want is somebody showing up to a presentation with 10,000 laminates. They're going to be fumbling through them. They're not going to know what to use where in the presentation. So that's why I actually just kept these 2 additional so that we don't even have that issue.
Good idea.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So, Mandy, do you feel good about the being prepared portion?
Yeah, I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions? Are they muted?
I think they can unmute themselves. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask away. All right, and then I have your kind of fear of running a presentation. Let me bring us all back here. I don't know why Catherine won't stay muted.
There we go.
Would you mind texting
She's
Catherine?
muted. I think she finally muted it. That's weird.
There it is. Okay, now it's muted. Okay, so for fear of running the presentation, I think I kind of just covered this. It all comes down to what I think is being really prepared and just having a really good feeling about how the presentation is going to go down and just really even running through it in your own house. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. And for those people who are non-local, it's critical to get on the phone with them and really make sure that they understand start to finish how a presentation is going to go, because it's really not that much to it when you think about it. And we're going to kind of run through in a minute and talk about what's involved with the party. But non-local people can have you join via Google Hangout or through Zoom. So I have done that on parties when I was actually like sick or just couldn't even, be somewhere. And I just get right on the iPad with them and I have them carry me around, set me up. Yeah, Jamie, Alana, Monica had me do that. And it's just it's like a crutch, So, and honestly, I really, even with people who felt very insecure about not having me there, they didn't need me really. And more than anything, I think it was at the closing table for just questions about math. And we have our Arbonne calculators. And that's the other thing for being prepared is go through the Arbonne calculator and just play with it. Go through scenarios, go through orders, like make up orders in your head as you go and go, okay, so if this person got an ASVP, let's find where that is. They're signing up as a preferred client. So make up a scenario as you go and just plug it into the calculator so you feel really comfortable with the calculator. The calculator sometimes is a little off on tax or shipping. So I make sure that when I'm looking at the shipping that's on the calculator, I look at what is on the retail value, what is on the order form to make sure that I'm charging enough, because sometimes it undercharges on shipping. So just check that. You can manually override shipping on the Arbonne calculator. And what you do is you just select shipping, you click on it, and it gives you flat rate, and you just put that rate in. Okay. So,
Hey, Megan, can I ask a question?
absolutely.
Back on that sheet, I don't know, this one.
Uh-huh.
I don't see like it has the ASVPs on it. Is that correct? It does not?
Yeah, I have a new worksheet that's being put together that I actually need to follow back up on that's having those added.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
That's a great question. Thanks for asking that, Megan. Yeah, I need to follow up with Andy's assistant on that. All right, so for non-local people, and so you guys know, Mandy, real quick, do you want to cover the difference between a business launch and a party?
Do you want verbiage for that or what exactly?
No, just the difference.
So the biggest thing about a business launch basically is just, a consultant's very first exposure to the business. So you're really learning. So really just watch and learn. And versus, I guess a party, it just depends on how new they are, right? But really, by my third one, after my 2 business launches, I was pretty much running the party with support, obviously, from my upline.
And for the business launch, I'd say you might focus a little bit more attention on the business.
Okay.
That, you know, because you're there to support your new business builder and help them sponsor. So that's I think that's the main difference between a business launch and a party. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to pull these class cards back up here. And I have printed. Okay, never mind. Oh, where are they? Presentation notes. If you look hard enough, you will find it. Okay, so this is a core presentation, and I have a recording that I did also, just that you can listen to hear the flow of this party. And it's basically the core presentation, but adding in the RE9. And so here, for somebody who has never done a party before, this is kind of how I would work with them. I would say, so this is where, and so you guys know when I started the business, Angela and Andy did one party with me, and they ran it for me and brought everything, and then I was on my own. So I remember when I had to run my party, I was thinking, I don't even know anything, like where to find anything. And then I remembered Dina Kretzer, and we had these kind of boot camp calls, which are kind of like these Rising Stars calls. She talked about how in the class cards, the first page is everything you need for a party. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check that out. And so I came to this very front page, like Mandy said earlier, and I looked at everything here and I put it all together in my bag. And then you can see there's pre-party setup. So if I'm working with a new consultant on my team, I'm going to say, especially if I can't be at the presentation, what you're going to do before people arrive is you're going to have your fizzies and your protein shakes pre-made and your tea steeped. And so what I do with my protein shakes is I have a magic bullet, and I put the fruit in the cup. I pour the almond milk in the cup before I leave my house, so that when I get there, all I have to do is add 2 scoops of protein. Throw on the lid, put it on the blender. It takes me 2 seconds. And then I don't have to open the bag, scoop the protein. I mean, I do have to do that, but I don't have to pour the almond milk, carry it with me, the fruit, all of that. It's they're ready to go. They have here steep detox tea. You could use solo cups, styrofoam solo cups for that. Set up your table. So the way that someone's going to set up their table, and you might even want to put your table display together and take a picture if you're showing someone how to do the business. You have your RE9 set together on one side of the table and the nutrition ASVP on the other side of the table. We're really going to be talking about purchasing in packages, and you want that to be really visual for people who are attending the presentation. So, and then I have favorite products in another area, so that they're not mixing up the favorite products with the RE9 ASVP, the nutrition ASVP. So just those 2 kits up right in front. Then we have our checkout station put together. And then here, as guests arrive, we have them doing RE9 cleanser on their skin and using a Genius pad, and then they're trying the samples of the products as they arrive. So I find it very difficult for me to wait for everybody to come in for 20 minutes and kind of be sitting around talking to people and not using that time proactively. So this gives us a way to really interact with people, get to know them, have them try things all at the same time. And that takes the first 20 minutes. I'd say about 20 minutes as people are getting there. And then by the time the last guest gets there, gets washed, tries their samples, everybody's here also. And look at here we have, and while I'm doing this, I'm asking, how do you know the host? What do you do for a living? Do you love what you do? I'm having them fill out their client care card, and I have them they have their wish list. They're not really filling that out yet. So does that all make sense? What people are doing, really using that time? And we have, don't hand out the catalogs until the end of the presentation. And then I've adjusted the presentation a little bit and made it, I think, is super simple. Basically, these are just cards that you read as is. So I'm not going to read through the entire presentation. I'll send you a link so that you can hear me read through the whole thing, and then you can follow along. And feel free, this is a Word document. I left it in Word so that you can download it and change into your own verbiage or add your own flair. This as is a 20-minute presentation. And so you're gonna, go through, and there's a lot of great information in here. If you guys have ever heard me present, I usually add in a lot of information. I've added it here. So there is nothing missing from this presentation. So Megan Walnut, you might be like, yay. The italics,
Yay.
we don't read the italics. That's just to help section out so that you can, find your place again. And so kind of reading through. Then we're actually going to try and use the toner. So we're going to do the wash and the Genius at the sink. And then during the presentation, we're going to quickly go through the toner, the serum, the lift gel, eye cream, and day cream and night cream. So, and you'll hear when I present how I do those. I'm like, here you go. All right, that's going around. I talk about it and I'm like, okay, that's still going around. Here's the next one. I'm like, and here's the next one. So I'll have 2 or 3 products going around the group as I talk. And then down here, I say, okay, that's the system. It takes less than 2 minutes time in your own bathroom with your own set. And then we ask, what do you love about how your skin feels? And so you want people sharing with the group like, oh, it feels so light. Oh, it's so many steps, but it feels so good. You want them hearing from their peers how great this feels. And then we go into the nutrition side of the house. And since we've already tried, and I've put it all here, guys. You've already had the chance to sample protein, fizz sticks, and detox tea. Now let's review nutrition products. And so I have, if you in italics, you don't read the italics. If you already spoke about protein and fizz and and tea, skip those. We don't have to say the same thing again. You can say, I want to just talk about the products that we haven't covered yet. And you can talk about the fiber, the digestion, the 7-day cleanse, and the greens. And then we go through and we close. And I like this presentation, if you guys have had a chance to listen to the core, because we do kind of sprinkle the business throughout. And so here we don't have to go into this whole long drawn out like Arbonne business, close. It's more about like, here's the deals. So it says, like I said in the beginning, for those of you that really been looking for another income stream in your life, please talk to me. I have a curiosity packet for you, and I'd love to get you some information so that you can do your due diligence. And you'll definitely want to get started with a few products and host, especially if you're thinking about the business. And then we go through and talk about the packets. And this is where you're really going to want to practice, because here, this is a part where you'll probably want to be focused more on them and the products that are sitting there. But I have certainly you'll be able to order things individually at full price if you'd like to get started with a few products, or you can open a preferred client account for $20 and shop at a 20% discount tonight and for a full year. So, and also with a $150 product order tonight as a preferred client, you will qualify for a free $50 product. And then we go through and talk about the best deals. And I say, I think the best deals are these value packs where you get your $20 fee waived. With the anti-aging set and the nutrition set together, you guys, these are $855 worth of products. But with our package as a preferred client, you pay only $471. It's a 45% discount. Now, if you're leaning towards one package, and go through and slowly speak these, because I know if you're not used to presenting a presentation where you're talking about how much something costs, for us, it's unnatural. They want to know the information, because if you start speeding through this, they're going to go, wait a minute, how much did you say that cost? What? And they're like trying to frivolously write it down, because I've seen it. So slow down and say, okay, so that's these both together, $855, but if you, with the preferred client deal, you're paying only $471. I promise you, for people who buy high-end skincare alone and not even nutrition, they're going to be like, oops, that's a steal. I'm in. Like Chanel users are going to be like, I spend that on 2 products. So don't feel like it's expensive. You just don't know your audience. Then if they're leaning towards one package, I'll say, okay, so if you're leaning towards skincare, the anti-aging set is $488 if that's the value. However, you're paying only $250 as a preferred client with this package. That's really almost a 50% discount. It's a 49% discount. With the nutrition, and really use the visual of what these products look like, you're getting a $437 value. You're paying only $220. It's a 50% discount. So I put that both because I think sometimes people like to know what something's worth, but then what they're saving for our people who love a deal. And I just reiterate, these packages are by far the best way to get these products at the best value. And I truly believe that. I do an ASVP for nutrition at least every other month, if not every month, because we use so many of those products. So, and then I go down and say, definitely think about who you'd like to invite to your very own presentations, because of our hostesses get spoiled with free products and an 80% discount for hosting. And you can earn so much product at a great price, you're not even gonna believe it. So get them excited about that. And then I think a lot of people have questions about the close. And the close is like this. Now I'm gonna meet with you guys individually. I'm gonna pass out, I have catalogs here, and I'm passing out the catalogs. I'm passing out the 3 ways to benefit and the value pack. Like here, I'm gonna pass these value packs that we just talked about out. And have a look at the catalog. It's your time to shop now. You know about the best ways to buy with Arbonne, because you want them just picking a package and making it fast. And I'll say, but I'm gonna meet individually with each of you and help you to get the best product budget fit. So, and plan on meeting with me regardless of what your bank account looks like, because I really want to make sure we connect tonight regardless. So I've got my calendar with me so we can book presentations, and here, you know, and you have your catalogs to look at. Is there anyone who knows what they want already, or is just about made their decision and can meet with me now? We're going to meet right over here at this table. That's my close. And then what happens is people are shopping and figuring out what they want, and they start coming over to the table. You want to have that separate table set up so that you have the opportunity to have a little bit more privacy with that person, because people are not comfortable sharing their financial situations with their whole neighborhood. I promise you. And that's really, you know, how a presentation goes. Do we have any questions about any of that?
I have a question, Megan.
Yeah.
I have a couple, actually. So what I've been wondering is, you know, we tell them when we're doing our hostess coaching, we're telling them to pick a theme. So like, if we're doing the core, how are we fitting into a theme? Or is that like somebody that does a party later? Do we always start with the core, or how does that?
You know, you want to kind of direct your hostess to what you have available. So if you don't have the makeup set, you don't want to do a makeup party. So I would, when we say pick a theme on the letter, what I would probably do is I would say theme, you know, colon. And I'd say anti-aging skincare. And I say, this is what we're going to talk about. So, okay. Yeah.
Okay. And also, at the close here, where you're talking about the ASVPs, have the prices changed? Because I know we had said before that preferred clients get 40% and consultants get 50%. Well, now this is saying that they're getting almost a 50%. So is something changed, or?
I bundled it. I bundled the $20 in there and the free product in there.
Oh,
to show
okay.
the value, to show the value of what they're getting.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thanks.
Just to make it sound, I mean, because it's the truth and it just sounds better.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. So when you guys get a chance, dig into these cards. I think there's a lot of good information in there. Basically, how I pulled them together was through taking the core presentation and then listening to Donna Johnson's presentation about 5 times, marking up the cards, just working on the flow, making sure that all of that great information is in there and it's really tight. And I think it's extremely duplicatable, and it's going to really train new people a lot of great information about this company. So those are there for you to print out. And just so you guys know what my book looks like, Jamie, you'll be happy to know that it's still it's not marked up like crazy anymore. But I use a little binder that is like a 5 by, I don't know, some sort of 8 by something binder. It's the only small size. And Mandy showed me, this was a Mandy thing, these sleeves. So I have these little sleeves, and I kind of go through the presentation this way with my little booklet. And so that way, as the presentation cards, you know, they do change. And so this way it's just easy to print them off and just, you know, stick them in the sleeves and be done with it.
So Megan, are you actually reading them like you used to read the old flip cards, looking
Yeah.
down? Are you literally turning, like you had the notebook facing toward us? Were you actually saying you look down at it like this? Or you
I do like, I'll kind of have it like this, and I start it where like the first page is here, and then I flip down. I mean, you guys will figure out how you want to flip through your cards, but I kind of hold it like this in front of me, and that way they can't see the back of the cards, so we don't have to worry about those Arbonne A's. I just hold like this, and then I flip, and then I can see 2 pages at once.
Okay.
Like that.
Okie doke.
All right. And so I'll put the recording of that presentation up as well, so you can listen to it. And our goal is to have a live recorded presentation that's literally like a camera following us through, kind of a staged presentation that somebody could watch and replicate.
Megan, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, 2 things. About that recorded, your goal to record a presentation. Is that something that you can actually, if you want to send it to somebody like out of town, is that something that we could like show them?
Absolutely. That's why we want to do it, for duplication purposes.
That's really great.
So that if you have somebody outside, yeah. But for now, they can listen to it and you can walk them through the cards. I don't believe I'll have a recording until after GTC.
Right. That would be great because they could just press and play and listen and watch.
And watch it. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other question is that, have you guys tried, because I tried trying to host last March, and I was having difficulty with trying to do the hosting through the web. Is that already fixed? Did you guys tried it once everything was settled?
So your question is Host Rewards working? I believe it is.
Okay.
I will know after tomorrow. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I have a problem with it before, but I hope it's better. Because the last version, or before everything changed, it was pretty easy to send the invite because it's so nice and pretty and everything. But I feel like this time around, I couldn't even see the invitation when I sent it to her and sent it to myself.
Yeah, I would say my feedback on that is, with the new system, there's been things that need to be fixed, and I know Host Rewards has needed some work. So try it, Catherine, and see for your next presentation if the invitation is working. If not, you can send an email invitation or have her do an evite or some sort of invite service online until that's fixed. But I do know orders are going through, so that portion is working.
All right.
So, and I'm thinking a lot of that will be fixed for this month, just because they've had some time now to buckle down some of those details.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are over on time. I'm going to go ahead and post up some things from this call on our Rising Stars site. And I hope this is helpful for all of you. So, and Mandy, thanks so much for helping to lead. It's so nice. And don't worry, I'll be calling on a bunch of other folks on this call to start helping out too. Sooner than you think. So, All right. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions before we close? We're good?
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Megan. That was
Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Michelle.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you.
So
Can't
good
wait to
seeing
see
all of
you,
you.
ladies.
See you next week.
Yay.
Yay!
Bye. Oh,
Bye, guys.
bye.
Bye.